Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, goodness, whenever you tune in. Because I know this broadcast is also on the archive. Now, I think I'm talking in a regular voice. So actually, I do hope it's picking up, and I'm actually pretty sure that it is. But if you're getting on the broadcast, hey, I still got a couple of people on. I get on early so that Facebook has a chance to. Oh, this is my 25th broadcast. Oh, Facebook just sent me a congratulations. Hey, four people, shout out. I don't know who you are, so it's just showing me that I got four near the camera eye up there. But welcome, welcome. We've got less than 3 minutes. So again, if you want to just get that one last quick uh, run to get a cup of tea or coffee or whatever you need to do, tuck something away, just come on and do that. And excuse me, we'll get started in less than 3 minutes. But thanks again for coming on. hmm I got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Look, since you're on early, if you want to ask me a quick question, go on and throw that in there. It may move the discussion in a different way that needs to go. It may actually be something that I already plan to talk about. Sometimes we're so much more in sync than we think we are. A lot of times people decide that there's difference is a wonderful thing, but we tend to feel that differences are negative sometimes. So, oh, that person's different. That's a blessing. That's they're supposed to be different. And we always hear the term valuing differences, and we hear people talking about diversity. You don't need tag words to have certain feelings and to recognize certain truths. I went to an all boys Jesuit prep school at 14. And so, where I was one of seven black students in a student population of over 200. So now they have the term diversity training. But I've been doing diversity training or involved in diversity training since then. And based actually because of where I grew up in the projects in New York City, we got less than a minute, we had a pretty integrated neighborhood. So we've been doing a lot of diversity training. Again, they've got all these tag names now, and sometimes we fall into, what's up, ZBK? What's up, my sister, Zettine, my birth sister. Y'all hear me always saying my sister, but this is my birth sister, 10 months apart. What a blessing. So thank you. So good to see her on here. Less than a minute we got to go, and then we're going to get started. But, like I said, there's a lot of tag names that we let ourselves fall under and get categorized. Hey, Vicky, what's happening? Oh, wow, the block is coming over. Yeah, Vicky, what were we in first grade together? First grade or second grade? Wow, yeah. It's great that we go way back, y'all. We go way back. Look, we got less than a minute to go because my clock is over here saying 12 o'clock. Here we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Glue Wednesday. And I call it glue because a lot of people say Wednesday is hump day. See, that's the thing too. There's a lot of cliches that we use to get us through stuff. Cliches are fine, but don't let a cliche get you stuck not hearing what you say. See, sometimes we use someone else's words because it just goes with what the feeling we want to emote. But slow down and think about what you're saying and make up your own cliches. One of the things you probably never noticed, but now you may notice it, is I will rarely repost or click on that I like a quote from somebody that's dead or somebody else because I don't click on, oh, great quote Abraham Lincoln, great quote Dr. Martin Luther King, great quote Gandhi, because you know what, I say the same things. Quote me. Quote me because I'm alive, and quote yourself. See, a lot of again we use quotes from other people, but if we believe in the stuff, a lot of times we can say it and put it in our own words and let it really make a difference. Because then when people know you, then they actually know where that quote is coming from, and that could be more meaningful to them and help them a lot better. I mean, it's what anyway. I'm not gonna go. No, I gotta give you one joke. Because Abraham Lincoln's. What would his quote would, they say that his wife's quote was, other, all things considered, the show was fine, So again, which is a way of her, perhaps laughing it off that she had to get over it. And that's one of the things that we'll be talking about and things that we have to recognize. We got a lot of stuff that we got to get over. Hey, Nisi Payne. So today our topic is rejection. And I'm not just going to talk about it, I'm going to give you some ways to deal with it. Because a lot of people feel hurt by rejection. But as you can see, the acronym that I have for rejection is rejecting everything God requires. Regret is our topic. And rejecting everything God requires for eventual testimony. Regret is rejecting everything God requires for eventual testimonies. In other words, we decide that we've all got to go through some stuff, and I don't give the devil credit. People say, well, the devil is busy. Yeah, the devil is busy, but guess what? The devil needs permission from God. Everything that goes on in my life, good or bad, is from God. So if I'm going through a tough time, I don't give the devil credit for that. I give God credit for that because I know that he's preparing me for something. See, so that's what I'm saying. I'm not rejecting what he is putting me through to get my eventual testimony. See what I'm saying? So that's why I'm not regretting anything that has happened in my life. Every single thing that happened in my life has been on plan, on purpose. So some of the things I've decided to share with you is I think it's important that we trust our instincts. Trust your instincts. God requires you to focus. And my acronym for focus is FOCUS. Finding ourselves creates unlimited success. Finding ourselves creates unlimited success. See, focus on you and let other people come into focus. The only person that you really have any control over and their actions is yourself. You can't control anybody else's actions. We even find ourselves saying, I wonder what they were thinking. What made them do that? See, that's something that you can't figure out. And so we sometimes give ourselves undue negative stress by trying to figure out what someone else's motivation for something was, when in fact all we can do is figure out ours. And ours is not always the greatest either. You've got enough of a challenge dealing with your stuff. And so, keep dealing with your stuff. Hey, Renee. Okay, so one of the things that I also say, and I've got a biblical reference for it because the Bible, by the way, and I say that the Bible, I don't quote the Bible, I use the Bible. And then I know some people get caught up, well, you just can't be biblical. The Bible, I say, has no good stories. It has all good endings. And every single book in the Bible, pretty much every single book, there's a few exceptions, starts out with a tragedy. And then the tragedy, or problem, then we need faith. Then we need patience. And then we get the testimony. The ends of the books in the Bible are where the stories are. But they usually start out with a problem. And that's why we've got to recognize that we have that same cycle. I call it a victorious cycle. We have that same cycle going on in our lives. We get a problem or challenge. We have to have faith. Then we have to have patience. And then we get our testimony. Because wisdom is in retrospect. And we can go back and look at what we did and what we got through. And that's why I say go back. Don't go back and regret. Go back and give yourself credit. So here's one of the scriptural quotes that I have on my wall, and I think it's important to have words on your wall. I'm going to talk about the pictures on my wall in the background as well, but you need to have words on your wall because pictures have perception. And two people can look at the same picture and get a different message from it. But when you read something, read into your spirit. Put the things on your wall that you believe in. Again, that will help you get focused on you. Focus on you. Really get to know who you are. And just, recognize that you can't help anybody until you help yourself. And you can't help anybody that doesn't want your help. So it's just as much as people say, well, that's kind of selfish. You're just really being selfish. No, it's selfish. You have to put yourself first. Not your kids, not your family, not your spouse, significant others, not your pets. You have to put you first. And that doesn't push people away, by the way. That brings people closer to you. Because when you get your stuff together, that's what attracts people. You can't tell me that you're going around looking for a broken person so that you can fix them. We look for someone that lies just like we do and say we got it all together. That's right. I'm quoting Louise. I quote my mother because let me say this. I've been in my speaking business 23 years. And when I was early in my speaking business, a lot of stuff I say, are quotes I get from my mother, from my father, from my family. And you know how you say, well, you know what? My mother always said, I said that a lot. Well, the first time I said that, 10 years ago when my mother died, the first time I said that after she was gone, man, it caught me. I'm on stage, and I said, well, you know what my mother always said, and boom, and I heard me, because, see, in the past, whenever I said my mother always said, or my father always said, whoever you quote, whenever I said that, there was always that assurance that I was going to get a new saying from them, possibly. And, or an updated version of what they always said. But once she was gone, when I said my mother always said, it was final. And I recognized that I was never going to hear her say that again. And now so now that's where legacy, and I've spoken about legacy before, now that's where the legacy comes in, because now that thing that she said, that thing that you quote, that's it now. That's it. That's what that person used to say. And now you are going to be remembering that person for that philosophy and that belief. Someone's going to have to do that same thing with you. So when they say, you used to always say, what will they be saying? Because they'll be talking about you. See how it all comes together? So here's a scripture quote that I have on my wall that talks about how important it is to focus on you. It's 1 Corinthians 4, 3 through 4. What about me? Have I been faithful? Well, it matters very little what you or anyone else thinks. I don't even trust my own judgment on this point. My conscience is clear, but that isn't what matters. It is the Lord himself who will examine me and decide. And that's why I'm saying it's not about regret. Sometimes you don't even trust your own actions. But when you go back and look at the stuff that you did in your life, go back and recognize that, that was part of your deal. And a lot of times people will say, I don't care what people think about me. Then they look at you for your reaction. If you don't care what people think about you, then you also don't need someone's reaction when you say it. I really actually have gotten to the point where I don't care what people think about me. Now, I'm not saying that I don't react. I'm not saying that it doesn't upset me or make me feel good. But what I am saying is that once I know what someone thinks about me, I categorize them accordingly in my life. If I know that you dislike me, that you talk about me behind my back, you backstab, I categorize you. I don't say, oh, well, I'm just going to get over that. No, I categorize you as an enemy. And I cut you off. And that's really just the way I live. And, it's not a negative thing, y'all. It's a positive thing. You have to cut people loose so that you can go forward. People come into your life for a reason, season, or a lifetime. Sometimes when their season is over, you've got to let them go, because they've come to teach you a lesson. Once you've learned the lesson, you have to let that person go. That doesn't mean they'll be gone forever. There's a chance that they'll come back in your life because you just may have to grow separately to come back together. But, it's always positive when you recognize that how important it is to take care of yourself. So that's one of the scriptures I have on my wall to remind me of how important that is. And then another thing I wanted to share with you, I'm going to call it a spoiler alert, because it's a tweet that I'm going to post probably next week. I don't know. I might post it, this week, but definitely by next week. And it says, my biggest challenge is the same reason I'm still in business. I have undeniably strong faith, firmly believing that no weapon formed against me shall prosper. And I haven't even bothered telling you about each weekend message. See, in other words, my faith is strong. That's why I'm still in business, because I've gone through a lot. I've been through some stuff. I remember when I was in Chicago, and I was teaching a life skills class, and I'm talking to them about being positive. And one guy said, "Well, that's easy for you to say, Mr. Sporty. You never even fell off a bike." I said, "Sit your ass down and shut up." Man, they cracked up laughing. But because I had to let them know, I have made choices about who I am. I chose to curb my language. I chose to dress the way I dress. I chose to be with who I be with. And I don't regret my decisions, because those are the spots that I think I'm in. So my faith has been undeniable, and I have been able to step outside myself, even when I've gone through my house was foreclosed on, the car was repossessed, I went through the bankruptcy. All the time while I was going through all that stuff, I'm cracking up laughing, because I stepped outside myself and I said, wow, look at what God is doing in my life. Look at how God is using me. I didn't say, oh my goodness, they took the car. Obviously it wasn't my car. If it was my car, they couldn't have taken it. So, so again, it's really about having the type of faith. Again, there's those cliches people like to say, and that's your Bible quote. Well, I got the faith of a mustard seed. They don't even know what a mustard seed is. We ain't never seen a mustard seed in New York and in the cities. So it's really important that if the things that you say, hear what you say, so that you don't, like in my business, I say, I don't practice what I preach. I preach what I practice. And so, because of my faith, I can tell you to have faith. So one of the quotes I want to read to you from one of my books is called The Implementation Crew. See, because I don't believe, when people say, when we make plans, God laughs. Yeah, he does, because we're on, I call it the implementation crew. Only God is on the planning committee. So this is called the implementation crew. You see, so often we complain about the week from hell, where we got nothing done because of problems, trials, and tribulations. How about the week from heaven, with so many blessings showered down that we didn't get to do all we planned? I wish you a week from heaven where nothing goes according to your plan, but everything according to his master plan. See, recognize that everything that goes on in your life, it's not about your plan, it's about God's plan. And when you recognize that, again, you will have very little room for regret, because you'll be spending so much time trying to figure out, wow, why is that important in my life? How can I use that to make my next step? See, that's what you want to do. It's one thing to say, get a positive attitude. And let me tell you, I'm not positive 365 days, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. I'm not. But I'm up more than I'm down. I'm positive more than I'm negative. And I'm going forward more than I'm going backwards. And the truth is, there's nothing wrong with going backwards. Every now and then you want to just step back and take a look at your work. That's faith. That's trust. Give yourself credit. Catch yourself doing something right. See, I say a lot of stuff in these broadcasts so that you can go back and listen to them, because sometimes when you hear them, it hits you. But when you hear them again, because we learn through repetition, when you hear them again, sometimes it hits you, oh, wait a minute, I get that now. And that's why I do encourage you. I post these to my YouTube station channel, and so go on and look at some of the past broadcasts and check them out, and just get another breath of the message, because that's what we have to do. We have to inhale faith. Depending on where we are a certain day or a certain time of day, we don't really get the message. Because, like right now you may be on, but there might be something else. You say, okay, well, yeah, I got to I have to do this, and I got to go here, and this is a part of my day. But, your mind is doing a lot of stuff. It's just like when people say you think too much. Who's thinking too much? Your mind does not stop. what you have to do is get control of your thoughts and prioritize your actions. Okay, so that becomes the key. And then when I think about plans and the implementation crew, I decided to read this other thing to you. It's called On the Rebound. On the Rebound. Athletes train to rebound from a loss or a setback. And this is before they're considered professionals. Why should it be any different for us in our lives or businesses? Just be sure to remember that the training is focused on adapting to changes and circumstances that will be instrumental in our success. You are a professional, and you can rebound from anything. Again, no regrets. Athletes in their teens, college, a lot of times college kids, athletes and professional athletes, we have this high bar of responsibility that we put them on, but they're teenagers, and then when they go into the pro, some of them are still not even 20 yet, but then once they get into the pro, they're in their 20s, and then 30 is considered old for a lot of athletes in certain sports. Okay, but so they are considered professionals. So why would we consider ourselves any less than them? It's not about regret. It's about learning more about yourself and what you did to take the next step. So, like I said, recognize that your faith has to be strong. And let me quickly tell you about, for instance, my faith. These two pictures behind me. Last week, when I did my broadcast, it was Marilyn Harris had sent a note saying how she really likes art. And so I decided, that's a good thing. I'm going to sit in one of my favorite spots in my apartment. It's one of my little sanctuary spots. It's my dining room. But these two pictures mean a lot to me. We've seen, you ever seen the little saying called footprints, where the guy is saying, Lord, I was walking and having trials and tribulations, and there were two sets of footprints, and then suddenly I just saw one set, and then the Lord God tells him, well, that was us walking together. Then when you had a problem, I picked you up and carried you, and that's why you only saw two sets. There's another one that goes on that says, at the end of the two steps, they see a lot of footprints going all around, and then God says, well, that's when we danced. Okay, so again, a lot of these go with that parable about footprints. This one is the one we've heard the most. It's show a guy being carried by Jesus or by God. But this one is one a lot of people haven't seen. It's a woman being carried by God, and she's also holding a baby. And then if you look up higher, you'll see that there's a rainbow. And then if you look over here, you'll see, you can't, unless you really stare, there's the dark clouds, and the closer you look at the dark clouds, you're actually going to see that there's a devil coming through the dark clouds. But again, see, so that's one of the good things that art can do for you as well. But again, I say, make sure you get some stuff up there on your walls that has words so that you can read them. The poem I want to share with you today is one that will wrap up kind of my feeling about how important it is for us not to have regret. Because a lot of times what regret is us looking back and thinking we want to be like somebody else. This poem is called I Miss Me. But it's about the fact that a lot of times we think that somebody else has got it going on and we want to be like them. But the truth is the grass is not always greener on the other side. But sometimes one of my sayings is the grass may be greener on the other side, but the birds still crap on it. And so, that's what we have to recognize. The grass may be green on the other side, but the birds still crap on it. And when you look back at the path that you did not take in your life, that path was not for you. Don't look back, oh man, I shouldn't have married this person. I shouldn't have been in this relationship. I shouldn't have done this thing. The path that you didn't take was not the path for you. A few months ago, I had a car accident. I had a flat tire because I decided to, I was thinking about going home a new way, but I said, no, I'm going to go home the way I always go home. And I made my turn. I was at the light to the last minute. I was like, no, go this way, go this way. I said, no, I'm going to go this way. And I turned and went that way, and it was dark and rain. I couldn't see. I hit something in the road. To this day, I don't know what it was. And I got a flat tire. And I actually did a post on it of me out there fixing my flat in the rain. But my point on that is, if I had not turned to go that way, if I had gone the way my mind was originally telling me to go, I would not know that I missed a tragedy. See, I would not know that I had been blessed to go the road that I chose, because the road that I thought about going, because the road that I chose had a bump in the road for me. See, we can't count our blessings. We have dodged so many bullets. There's no way for you to know, because once you make a choice, that's the choice that you've made. Relax and breathe in and recognize that was the choice you needed to make. You have no idea what was on that other road. So why would you doubt yourself for making the best choice that you could with the information that you had to make the choice? So this poem is, and you know what, I'll do a shout out, because I read it to memorialize my niece. A year ago, February, Trishawn Crawford, rest in peace, and some of us know her. So I had never read it at a funeral before, at a memorial service. So I read it because I know that her spirit is in this type of a poem. And it was great because a lot of her friends really appreciated it. They said, man, that really hit on who she was. So this is a poem about how important it is for us to not want to be someone else, because the only time you will be successful is when you decide to be you. You will fail when you decide to be someone else. And then you'll end up saying, I miss me. I thought about switching lives with you, but I miss me already. See, I don't know if you enjoy waking up every morning, and that happens to be one of my favorite moments, because it starts me off reaching my primary goal of the day, and my goal every day is to wake up tomorrow. And I don't know if you really appreciate how your fingers and toes move. Well, I know I really get a kick out of feeling solid, soft, or sandy soil supporting my successful stride. I happen to enjoy touching, squeezing, holding, and pointing myself in the right direction. That direction is up, by the way. Are you headed that way? I know I am. And I'd sure like to be in my shoes when I get there, because I pretty much know how I deal with the crowds. Got my acceptance speech ready and been practicing my smile. Come to think of it, I've been working on it since I was a child. My favorite outfit will be pressed brand new. Family, friends, teachers, heroes, TV shows, clients, habits, and hobbies, they'll all be there too. Can't say I'd know how to handle them all if I woke up and found out I was you. My mentors would take credit while giving me praise. They'd help me relive memories and cherish new days. Oh, how I would laugh at the tough times and the material things that were lost, and rejoice in the character they helped build. See, my life and spirit are beyond monetary cost. Every enemy would stand in their place and receive equal time to express the beauty they inspired through their negativity. Let's face it, so many of the lessons we actually learn come from disharmony. A selfish person made me want to share. A jealous person helped me recognize insecurity. A lie reminded me to tell the truth. I remember joy and pain. I like sunshine and rain. And it was a man who taught me how to be a man. I've been vigilant, patient, spontaneous, loving, and mischievous. Ignorant, irresponsible, irresistible. Innocent, intelligent, intuitive, intimate, incomplete, inconsistent, informed, interesting, introspective, indecisive, incompetent, inconsiderate, insightful, insatiable, insensitive, indispensable, independent, incoherent, incognito, indescribable, inexperienced, infallible, indestructible, inspirational, inquisitive, instinctive, instrumental, insecure, inventive, inundated, indisposed, indescribable, incredible, in tune, in touch, in sync, in and out. Outstanding, outrageous, outside, outsmarted, outspoken, outdone, outmaneuvered, outthought, outlandish, outclassed, outwitted, outcast, outnumbered, outraged, outright, outfoxed, outfitted, outrun, outreached, outfought, outranked, outvoted, outgoing, out of sight, out of this world, oh yes, even out of breath, and almost out of my mind. Because I thought about switching lives with you. But I miss me already. See, I don't know if you really enjoy waking up every morning. And that happens to be one of my most favorite moments of every day. That poem is from my book, Your Name Came to Mind. But again, it reminds us of the joy of waking up. You're going to miss you if you try to be somebody else. Don't try to be somebody else. Don't compete with other people. Compete with yourself to be better than you were the last time. If you ever listen to them when they interview athletes after a game and they say, well, you were losing and then you got it together and then they won, and you'll hear the players say, well, we got back into playing our game. We got back into doing what we do. See, you have to get back into doing what you do and not have any regrets about that bump in the road. That bump was there for a purpose. Maybe that bump made you duck and something went over your head that would have taken you out. Do not question what God has got for your life. If you say you believe in Him all the way. Even as we look at this Wednesday, as I call it Glue Wednesday, bringing both ends of the week together, a lot of times people say TGIF, thank God it's Friday. But I say TGIT, thank God it's today. And in TGIT, thank God it's tonight. See, that's what not having regret is all about. It's recognizing that if you've been blessed to wake up, thank God it's today, and then to be able to go through the whole day and get a chance to go to sleep again, thank God it's tonight, and wake up and do the whole thing again, thank God it's today. That's really what it's all about. Don't have a bad day, y'all. Have a bad hour. Have 2 bad hours in the same day. But don't use up a whole day in a bad mood and having a bad mood, having a bad day. Really take your time, count your blessings that you can count, and recognize that there's absolutely no way that you can count them on because you are so blessed. And there's no way that you need to regret anything that God has done in your life because everything that He has done has had a purpose. We've lost people, we've gained people, we've lost situations, we've gained situations. It's all about us focusing on the game and recognizing that the loss is a part of the game. So thanks for tuning in. I'm going to post this on YouTube so that, again, you never have to worry about, paging down my Facebook page to try to find the broadcast. I got them all. I'm technically functional, not literate, but I figured out how to post these to YouTube. My YouTube channel is Sporty King. Please go on there anyway and subscribe because there must be some reason where people want subscribers. I think that I'm going to get some kind of bonus if I do. Actually, I did just figure out what it is. If I've got a lot of subscribers, then I can get people to pay me to advertise on my channel. And then that's another way I can make money. Help me make money. So please go to my YouTube station and subscribe. Also, you're going to find me on xldjs.com radio. It's internet radio, Wi-Fi radio. My sister and DJ Lady D Wells in New York City, it's their radio station. XL like an extra large, DJS like DJs plural.com. You can listen to it on your computer, but also download the app and listen to it. It's 24/7, great DJs. But the reason I'm mentioning that is because I'm on there on Sunday mornings, Sunday afternoons at noon, I do the inspirational message, and then Tuesday mornings at 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time, I do the inspirational message that I did on Sunday. So Sundays and Tuesdays, you'll find me on XL DJs. That's one place you'll find me. Also, I do a monthly inspirational newsletter called The Golden Brick Road. If you're not currently subscribed, you can go to my website and you can see all of them. But I send out a regular email reminding people when the new one is posted. So if you want to get on that list, send me an email request. You can find that option on my website. And again, speaking of my website, please, you'll find information on how you can book me to be Sporty King live at your event or one that you support. So, if you've got an organization, a company, a school, check with me and before you rule me out and see if it's something that I would be interested or even available to do. And because my speaking business relies on referrals and reputation. So I'm working on a reputation. You work on those referrals for me. Thanks again for joining me for Glue. Recognize there's no need for you to regret anything because you are a wonderful, wonderful human being. And the choices that you've made, they've been choices that you had to make. And they've been tough choices. Give yourself credit. God bless you, and I'll see you next week. And by the way, lastly, if you got a topic you want me to discuss, remember you can always type that in, and I'll see if I can work that in. And so do my quick shout outs. Hey Gail, Nisi, I saw you. Karen Pratt, I saw you when you came in. You should have been here soon. I'm gonna get on your case. All right. Thank you all. God bless you, and I'll see you soon. Hey Renee, yeah. Oh, Kamasi, another one of my regulars. All right. Oh, I better scroll down. And Renee Green. Oh, I got to make my Renee's clear. Renee Green, my schoolmate, and Renee Burke. That's my girl there. So hey, what's up, fam? Love you all. Over and out. Ciao.